A local man is making dreams come true on the field and pushing student athletes farther than they ever thought they'd go. I sat down with the quarterback guru about his strategy and how he became a game changer.
I used to pretend I was Joe Namath when I was a kid. I didn't know who the guy was, but she was gorgeous. It turned out to be Farrah Fawcett, and it was Joe Namath. And I remember telling myself, whatever he's doing, that's what I want to do.
That's a great story. Steve Clarkson grew up in the Los Angeles neighborhood of El Sereno. He remembers sitting in the nosebleed seats at the Coliseum to watch his L.A. Rams.
We were at the top of the Coliseum, and I could see planes landing, and he says, this is such a great seat. You could see the game, you could see downtown, you could see the ocean.
As a kid, Clarkson tried Pop Warner football.
I had to lose, 10 pounds, essentially, as a 9-year-old kid back in 1971. And I remember, this is awful. I don't want to do this.
But his mom wouldn't let him give up.
Here is a 1965 Chevy Impala, and she's following me up the hill. And I'm running, and dogs are chasing, and I'm running faster.
Clarkson would become a football star in high school at Wilson High and college at San Jose State under the legendary Jack Elway, father of the great John Elway. Still, the NFL wasn't in his future. He went on to a successful career managing several Black Angus restaurants in L.A. until one day when the phone rang.
So the guy calls me up and says, hey, I heard you might want to coach. I said, I don't know, one, how you got my number, and two, I'm not interested in coaching.
But Clarkson agreed to meet the man's son.
We went out, we did a few drills, and as I was walking to my car, he was doing these backflips and front flips. A light bulb went on my head. I said, if I could teach this kid to play quarterback, and every time he threw a touchdown pass, and he did one of these crazy flips after his touchdown pass, I said, we could be famous.
This was the beginning of a nearly 30-year journey as a private quarterback coach.
The one thing that we're realistic on is that these kids should not come here expecting to play on Sunday. They should come here expecting to go to college. Go!
Every Sunday morning, kids ages 8 and up come from across Southern California to Cathedral High School to learn the Clarkson method to become a star quarterback.
I liken it to the Karate Kid, so to speak. Sometimes we're doing things that are a little unorthodox, and kids may not understand why they're doing what they're doing. But at the end of the day, they come back and say, now I get it.
Max Gillum has trained with Clarkson for the past 2 years. He's in his senior year at Thousand Oaks High School and has already received an offer for a full scholarship from Cal Berkeley.
I didn't know much about football, but I watched how he treated my son. I watched how he spoke to my son, and I really was impressed with him.
The moms in particular, I would say, are probably very underrated in this process, but I think they actually know more than most of the men. They really run the ship.
How's that?
Parents say the sacrifice pays off as he's helped many young quarterbacks get into their dream colleges, and still others like Ben Roethlisberger and Matt Leinart into the NFL. What is your success rate?
I couldn't put a number to it, but I would say I've been in business for 30 years. If I wasn't very good, I probably would be doing something else by now.
Now, Clarkson's 11-year-old son Pierce is an aspiring quarterback too. While he supports his son's dream of becoming an NFL star one day, Pierce knows the goal of the sport is to get into college and then see where football takes him.
And if it happens to continue on and they're lucky enough to get paid for it, then that's something that they should certainly pat themselves on the back for, but it's not something that we really preach here.
That's it.
Well, Clarkson's training starts at $650 a month. USC coach Steve Sarkisian was one of Clarkson's first clients. And you can go to CBSLA.com for the story about the tough conversation he had with Sarkisian's dad about his son's future.